Welcome to your Level 2 Certification Forms tutorial. I'm about to create a survey in order to collect some data and find out the opinions of my learners. I'm going to ask them which beach would they like to visit. I'm also going to be collecting their usernames. I'm going to restrict it to WLC domain and restrict it to one response per user. I'm going to choose a form response destination. What that means is I'm going to choose a sheet which the responses will go to. And then finally, I'm going to create a new page based on an answer that they give me in this Google form. So let's get stuck in. My first question is going to be, which beach would you like to visit? And I'm going to give my learners three choices. They can go to Brighton, Bournemouth, or Blackpool. Now, depending on the response that they give me, I'm going to direct them to another section. So I'm going to create three separate sections, one for Brighton, one for Bournemouth, and one for Blackpool. And so I click on the Add Section button on the bottom right-hand corner of my choices bar on the right-hand side. And there's section 2 of 2. So I'm going to give it a title. I'm going to call it Brighton, so I know exactly what section I'm directing my learner to. And I'm going to give them a question. And the question's going to be, why would you like to visit this beach? And what you notice is that Google automatically gives them a paragraph-based question type for them to answer. So obviously we're going to look at a long answer text. So now that I've got my section and my question, I'm going to click on Duplicate Section, which is the three dots on the right-hand side. Duplicate the section, and I will get the same section with the question. And all I have to do is edit the title. And I'm also going to do the same thing with the question. Now, the reason why I didn't just say, why do you want to visit this beach? The reason why I've given it a name is because it also gives me this particular question in the sheets that I'm going to create later on. So I've created my second section. Now I'm going to create my third section. A couple of other things that I'm going to check. So now that I've created my sections, I'm going to go to the first section, click on that, and I'm going to click on the three dots at the bottom, and it says go to section based on answer. So for Brighton, continue to next section. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say go to section 2, which is Brighton. For Bournemouth, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to let them go to Bournemouth section. And then for Blackpool, finally, we're going to go to the last section. Now, after they've completed the Brighton question, I don't want them to carry on. I want them to submit the form. So I'm going to change that. After section 3, same thing. Submit the form so they can finish that. And for Blackpool, it's going to be the same thing. They'll just submit the form once they've answered the question. Now I'm going to look at the settings. So we've got two ways of changing the settings. If you look at the top of the page, you've got this form is automatically collecting email addresses for WLC users. You can change the settings here, or you can also go to the cog on the top right-hand side next to the send button. And if you look at the settings, we can collect email addresses. We can send a response receipt to the respondent if they request it. We can restrict to users in WLC and its trusted organizations, and we can limit to one response only. Respondents can also edit after their submission, and they can see summary charts and text responses, so they can see what the results are if we tick on those boxes. So just to have a look and see what the form, how the form operates, we're going to click on the preview button, which is next to the settings. And so you've only got the first leading question. If I click on Brighton and click on next, it asks for my long answer. So I'm going to say I've never visited before. And then I'm going to click on submit. Finally, as you can see, we've now got a response. So if I click on the response, it's got my email address, it's saying what beach I'd like to visit, and it's got the results as well. You know, why would I like to visit Brighton? But then there's no responses yet for Bournemouth and for Blackpool. Finally, I'm going to click on create a spreadsheet, and it's going to go to places I want to visit. Click on create, and here is the spreadsheet loaded with all the questions that I typed in. And that is all you need to know for Google Certification Level 2. Any questions, please do ask. Send me an email, t.doncaster@wlc.ac.uk. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.